That's the style.
Okay.
That's the style.
How y'all doing today? Great. So I'm really excited to be here. I know I'm on a time limit, so I'm gonna jump right into this. So my name is Sterling Mark. I'm originally from Lufkin, Texas. I am a graduate from Prairie View A&M University. I have a master's degree in business administration. I'm also a recently published author. I just published the Pastor Torch Student Success Workbook and Guide. I was previously a area manager for Walmart distribution, where I was relocated from Houston, Texas to Delaware, and I did some great things there, but I got back to my purpose. Found my purpose, and I got back to my purpose. So allow me to introduce myself, my business, and what that's gonna take is for me to get soul to soul with you guys. I'm gonna have to get a little bit thicker than the skin. I gotta go deeper than that. I gotta go soul to soul with you guys. So relax. How many of you have ever heard my story? No? All right. So check behind you right now. Are there any seatbelts? All right, y'all strap up. Okay. So as I get into this, the first thing I want to let y'all know is that I was born to a single parent. I still don't know my father. My mother I had an older sister and a younger brother. We all have different fathers. Also, I moved every year of my life up until I was 24, sometimes twice. You said you hate moving. Think about that. Yeah. So I want to take you to my elementary years. One of the most significant years was the 5th grade for me. This was the house I lived in with my mother, my brother, my aunt, her 3 kids, in this 2-bedroom house right here. We didn't have any hot water. We couldn't use the stove to take a bath. We had to warm up water in the microwave for about 10 minutes. And back then, we couldn't take a bath every day. So, you better make sure you didn't get your pants dirty or whatever you wore. Then also, during this time, my cousins, they were gang related. So I got to witness and see a lot of the street life and things like that during the 5th grade. Moving on to middle school, my middle school years, one of the most significant years during this time was the 7th grade. And be mindful, when I say I moved every year, it wasn't necessarily with my mother every year. I may have been first grade, I was living with a cousin. 2nd grade, I was living with a cousin. 3rd grade, moved back with my mother. 4th grade, moved back with a cousin. It was serious. It was crazy. So, but 7th grade, I moved in with my uncle and aunt this year. Due to the fact that one of my mother's significant others told me that I wasn't gonna be anything, nothing. And it must have had some truth in it. Well, I may have thought it had some truth in it, because that year was the year that I went to school and the teacher said, hey, everyone come in and stand up, introduce yourself, explain to us what it is that you want to do after you graduate. Anybody want to take a guess of what I may have said?
You said nothing.
Nothing?
President.
President? Doctor? Okay. Neither. I told the class that I was going to drop out after my sophomore year of high school. And because I was looking up to those people, the people that were helping me were the people that was gang related, and those were the people that, did everything for me. So I thought I was going to become a part of that cycle, So I'm blessed that I didn't, but that's where my mind frame was at. So moving on to high school, yeah, go ahead and laugh, get it out. Moving to high school, this was a serious time for me, because this is when you really need to have a solid foundation. This is some of the most important years of your life. The end of my sophomore year, going into my junior year, my mother and my brother decided to move to Wichita Falls. I just couldn't go. I finally started working. I saved up enough money. I bought my own first car. Just went through a lot. I felt like I was coming into my own, so I didn't go. I went to work, came back home. My mother and my brother, they was gone. Luckily, I left my window up. I always leave my window up, so I went in, got my things, put it in a car. I drove to my church parking lot, and I shed tears. I'll be honest. I I didn't know what I was gonna do at that time. I realized that, okay, I'm alone. Seriously, I'm a junior, but but I got to do what I got to do. So I ended up moving with a friend, moved with another friend. I moved with my grandparents for a short period of time. Then I finally moved with an aunt who wasn't my blood aunt, but she provided, stability for me and had her family had a culture of success, and her family had people going to Prairie View, had people going to college. So it was just a really good thing for me at that point in time. And so that was senior. This was actually college. That's what I looked like in college. So going to college, my first 3-4 years, I carried over that same mindset that I had in high school. The girls, cars, money, that's what I wanted. At school, I don't even know what I was doing in the classes. I can't remember. I'm honest. Like during that 3-4 years, I got behind. And so all that time had passed, and my people that had invested time, invested money, they're asking me, "Hey Sterling, when are you gonna graduate?" I'm like, "Graduate? I didn't think about this." I was making a good career out of what I'm doing now. This was fun right here. So, but what that did for me was that allowed me to think about, okay, I have a purpose for being here. I didn't realize that. I came to college to graduate with a career. I didn't think about that. So I was either going to have to make a transition to become a professional student and do what I needed to do, or I was going to drop out and make all those people sad and mad at me. I couldn't do that. So I joined organizations and things to help me become a better student and a better person. I graduated, right? Hey. All right, stop. That's it. I graduated, and I didn't have a job. I didn't have nothing. I moved back to Houston, and anyone heard of Craigslist? Sure. So Craigslist, they post jobs on there if someone may need help moving. So for the first month and a half with my degree, I was a professional mover. I was everywhere in Houston. I was waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning with no alarm because I needed money. The jobs that were looking to hire me were jobs that would be considered underemployment. They wanted me knocking the doors, trying to sell a vacuum. I wasn't going to do that. So what they did, though, it allowed me to realize, okay, I'm back operating with no purpose again. I'm back. My mindset went right back to where it was before. So I knew that if I go back to school, I already knew how all these things I could do inside the classroom, outside the classroom to be a great student. I networking. I learned all these things. I knew that I could get ahead if I go back. I knew I could have a fresh start. So I applied, got accepted. Everything went great. I actually graduated with a 3.4 GPA, and I understood I had end goals then. And my end goal at that point in time was to graduate with a career. So the beautiful thing about this was the summer of 2014, I found my new purpose. So I was elected the first ever intern for the office of the president at Prairie View. Yeah, me. That guy, right? And what they allowed me to do was facilitate a program for the incoming freshman students because they felt like I could have a better chance at transitioning their mindset with my background and where I come from. So I put this program together. It was called MEL, Men Achieving Leadership Excellence. And they loved it. I mean, the students, after I read the feedback from them, I knew that, man, this is it. This is what I need to be doing. This is my purpose right here. So although that was an internship, I knew I had to go back and fulfill my initial goal, which was to end with a career. So I found an opportunity to go to the Thurgood Marshall Leadership Institute conference in Washington, D.C. And the story about this is amazing because I tried to go the year before, and I didn't know what it was. See, when you're unaware of things, you just don't know and you don't care too much. I showed up to the interview late. The interview late, she told me, hey, I can interview you. I'm not selecting you. Like, oh, okay. So she interviewed me still, and she let me know everything that they do and how they place the students with the employees. I'm like, wow, you're going to fly me to D.C. for free? I'm going to eat for free, hotel, wow. I am stupid. Why was I late? Why did I do my research? But that next year, believe me, I told my roommate, hey, listen, I am finna go down here and change my life. I know I am. It's no way you're gonna put them in there with me. You think I was hungry? I'm hungry now. Back then, I was really hungry. I'm telling you, there's no way you're gonna put us together and I not take advantage of the opportunity. So I left that Thurgood Marshall Leadership Institute with 3 job offers. I had a job offer with Walmart Distribution. I had a job offer with Kellogg's, and I had a job entry-level job offer with the FBI. I went with Walmart because they were a lot more prepared. And I'm sorry I didn't get to show these pictures, but these were the pictures from my graduation and everything. That was the one to the right. That's my master's, and this was my bachelor's. So with that being said, I went with Walmart for the last 2 years, but I didn't know. I knew that wasn't my purpose. I started my business, Sterling Empowerment, February 2016, and I didn't know what I was going to do with this at first, but I knew I wanted to facilitate programs. I wanted to do something with the students. I wanted to, all of the primary research that I put together, I wanted to utilize it as a program. And so one night I had a dream. I was speaking and saying some good stuff. And I turned around as I finished, and I realized, wait a minute. Everybody's going to leave, but they're going to leave without a tangible asset. I want them to leave with a tangible asset. At that point in time, I was writing a book about my life. I was on page 38. I stopped. I'm still on 38. I stopped. I started writing the Pastor Towards Student Success workbook because I knew that I needed to have something in the hands of these students. So here's the publication. And this is what it looked like. It's available on Amazon, but I prefer to be a direct distributor. I just did my research. I know I need to do that. But to do all of that, I realized that I knew that it had to start with me and my mindset. And once I changed that, everything changed for me. So I'm going to challenge y'all. This is what I want y'all to do, because this is what I had to do. I had to look in the mirror and see who it was that I was becoming. Firstly, I had to ask myself, what is it that I wanted to become? And I needed to believe that. I had to believe that. From there, I had to make the commitment. A lot of people get confused with making the decision versus making the commitment. I made the decision to start my company, but if I wasn't committed to running it, it would just be Sterling Empowerment, and you still wouldn't know anything about it. So you got to make the commitment. Another thing is effort. Do not underestimate the amount of effort that you're going to have to put into to fulfill any goal. Any goal. There's going to be setbacks. You're going to fail. You just got to learn from those things and continue to put in effort. The last thing is stay hungry. We all just watched the Super Bowl, right? The Patriots was down 25 points at halftime. 25 points. Now, Tom Brady and the Patriots, they had the option to, hey, we're already a great dynasty. 4 championships, records. We can just, hey, I don't want to get injured. We can come back next year. But they stayed with it. They changed their game plan. They realized they needed to put in more effort, and they overcame the deficit. So as I come to a close, I would like to leave you with a poem that I entitled Academic Grind. This is something that I wrote myself, and I hope you enjoy. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I'm not an Apple guy. Okay. So, my people, I really need your attention. Not to look at Instagram or Snapchat, but there's a critical issue regarding our retention. I need you right now because I don't want it to be too late. Not only is there an issue with our retention, but we have a staggeringly low graduation rate. There seems to be a disconnect making the collegiate transition, and it's causing us to waste so much time. If only we knew how to seek the knowledge that we needed and begin with the end in mind. You see, we live in an era now where people love to give social media their all, completely blind to the facts that a picture or a post could be your career downfall. It's time to regain our focus and take complete control of our lives. I need you to instill true grit within yourself and assure that you understand the whys, like why are you here and who all are depending on you to succeed. With that understanding, you can build a better future for your family and create a dynasty for your seeds. So look deep inside yourself, find your purpose, then follow your passion. Passion combined with purpose will make your relevance everlasting. And as you gradually take steps forward to position yourself for greatness, understand there will be roadblocks ahead, but it is then that you can recollect this information. Because as we all know, information, that changes situations. And knowledge is the new money. So it's imperative to have a higher education. So get it together right now, my people, and get on your academic grind. Tomorrow is never promised. So right now, now's the time. Thank you.